Hello?
Hi, I'm being stabbed, and it's on Haggis Road.
What did you say happened?
I'm being stabbed!
Okay. You said you were stabbed?
Stabbed in the stomach, and stabbed in the neck.
Okay, by who?
Right everywhere. Help, please. Haggis Drive.
Okay, who else is there? Hello? Hello?
Oh,
Hello?
I just got a knife in my head.
Who has a knife to your head?
I'm dead.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, what's going on there?
I just got a knife stabbed in my head.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I...
Okay, alright, we've got police on the way, okay? They're coming, they're almost there. Okay, they're coming.
On the 28th of December 2015, police received a call from a wounded Lynn Whittevan, who was begging for help after she had been stabbed multiple times by Thomas Chan, including one stabbing that happened during the call. Dispatch was sent immediately, and another call from Christina Chan further corroborated Lynn's story.
Require police, fire, ambulance.
Hi, I require police.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm at 1358 Haggis Drive.
Right.
My brother is being ridiculously aggressive right now. He broke someone's car window with a rock.
Okay.
He took mushrooms at 8 o'clock tonight, and
okay.
I don't...
So somebody else from there, girls just called in and said she was stabbed. Do you know anything about that?
Okay, he's at my dad's house, and he's broken into the house. We're outside in a car, me and my mom.
Okay.
I can see him through the front window, and he's sitting by the front door. I don't know if he has a weapon, but he's dangerous because he's attacked.
Okay, so what's your name?
Christina Chan. My brother's name is Thomas Chan.
And your brother is?
Thomas Chan. He's 19 years old. He's 5'11", very strong, about 170 pounds.
Okay. So, sorry, what information do you have?
Pardon?
What information do you have that he's done what?
That he has taken mushrooms.
Okay.
At 8 p.m. tonight.
Great.
He seemed weird all evening, and about 3 o'clock,
right,
he started freaking out, like saying that he was scared, and he came up back and was talking to my mom, and got scared, called us the devil, and ran outside of my mother's house.
Okay.
He ran to my father's house, which is 1358 Haggis Drive.
Right.
And when my mom and her boyfriend went to get him, my brother took a rock and smashed her boyfriend's windows across.
After this call, police would arrive to the scene to find a frantic Thomas Chan fall to the ground after police broke down the door of his father's estate, marking the end of this seemingly perfect family. The Chans were a normal family with a loving father, who was a local doctor for the small Peterborough community, while the stepmother ran a state-of-the-art clinic. They were a peaceful family, however. Thomas Chan had his troubles. Due to multiple concussions from contact sports, Thomas Chan was no longer allowed to play. While this could be argued as a role in this tragedy, it is only one piece of the puzzle. Days after Christmas, Thomas, who was a first-year policing student, went to go meet some of his friends at Lansdowne Street Pub in St. Louis. This is Thomas pictured here behind the red circle. Once they enter, they look for the table their friends were already waiting for them at. After a few pints, Thomas and his friends collectively decide to leave the pub, in hopes of scoring some magic mushrooms to enjoy the rest of the night. Here is them leaving to get the magic mushrooms and then returning to Thomas's basement. Once at Thomas's basement, they started passing around the mushrooms and taking one handful each, and an hour later the mushrooms were in full effect for all except Thomas. Because of Thomas's stature and size, he assumed he needed a larger dosage in order to have the same effect as his peers. He decided to take another handful, a fatal mistake. At 2 a.m., Thomas's friends noticed Chan's increasing agitation as opposed to their giggly state. Thomas then started ranting gibberish to them and ran upstairs to the bedroom of his mother and stepfather. After a futile attempt from the mother and stepfather to calm him down, he left the house. Barefoot and shirtless, he had one location in mind: his father's house. When Thomas reached the house by breaking in through a window, he went to the kitchen to grab a knife before brutally stabbing his father multiple times, while his father desperately tried to reach him by repeating, "It's Daddy," over and over. Thomas then turning his attention to his stepmom Lynn on the floor dialing 911. He shouted, "This is the day of reckoning," before slashing Lynn across the shoulder. Lynn also attempted to stop his automaton-like state by saying, "Thomas, it's Lynn. I love you." However, this would work against her favor as Thomas then stabbed her directly through her right eye. He then paced the front hallway, saying how he loved them and didn't want to do this. When police promptly arrived, Thomas exclaimed that this is a holy place and unlocked the door. As officers attempted to subdue and arrest him, he screamed, "I am God, I will do it again," and begged officers to put a bullet through his head. Once cops eventually got Thomas in custody, he was taken to the police station to get cleaned up before being placed into an interrogation. It's important to note Thomas's mental state in this situation. He has just murdered his own father and has had very little time to process this trauma. Moreover, he is far less comfortable as he has been immediately escorted to a police station with little to no memory of what happened and wearing a plastic suit, as prior to this he was shirtless and covered in his father's blood. Thomas is in a very volatile state, and depending on how the detective conducts this interrogation will determine whether this interrogation will be a success or a failure.
Thomas, just so you're aware, we're being audio-video recorded by the camera in the corner there, okay? It's the 28th of December, 2015 at 11:56 a.m. I'm Joanne Elliott. I'm a detective constable here. I'm the officer that's in charge of this investigation, okay? Just before I start talking to you, I know you've heard this before, but I want to read you your rights and everything again, okay? Okay, so you've been arrested for murder and attempt murder. It's my duty to inform you that you have the right to retain and instruct counsel without delay. You have the right to telephone any lawyer you wish. You also have the right to free advice from a legal aid lawyer. If you're charged in an offense, you may apply to the Ontario Legal Aid Plan for assistance. Do you understand that? Okay, and I understand that you've spoken with a lawyer, is that right? And who did you speak with?
Nathan Salter.
Thomas has been able to speak with a lawyer before this interrogation started. Therefore, his main tactic will be to stay silent. In Thomas's situation, there is enough evidence to convict him of killing his father. However, there is not enough evidence to suggest it was premeditative or he was conscious while doing it. Thomas has two defenses he ideally wants to maintain: the automaton defense and the right of self-defense. With the automaton defense, it can be argued that Thomas's reaction to the mushrooms combined with the multiple concussions he suffered from in the past could have caused an involuntary state in which he murdered his parents. This would be Thomas's best-case scenario, leading to a possible acquittal of the crime. If Thomas can also argue self-defense, it could dramatically reduce the sentencing and jail time he'd receive. With this in mind, Thomas should remain silent and create a strong storyline with his lawyer as opposed to providing information now, which would be contradictory in the inevitable trial.
Okay. All right. Okay, so you're charged with murder and attempt murder. Do you wish to say anything in answer to the charge? You're not obliged to say anything unless you wish to do so, but whatever you say may be given in evidence. Do you understand that caution? Okay, and if you've spoken to any police officer, to anyone with authority, or if any such person has spoken to you in connection with this case, I want it clearly understood that I do not want to influence you in making any statement. Do you understand that? Okay. So Thomas, what's your last name?
Chan.
Chan, okay, and how old are you?
19.
You're 19 years old, okay. All right, do you go to school right now?
I don't wish to answer.
You don't wish to answer?
Yeah.
Okay. Your mom has been in here. She is in here, speaking with officers. She's kind of given me a little bit of a background of your life, your history. I understand that you go to Lakefield College School, so you have a pretty good education.
Let's rewind to clarify what just happened.
All right. Do you go to school right now?
I don't wish to answer.
Thomas is maintaining his tactic to stay silent and give up no information.
You don't wish to answer? Okay. Your mom has been in here. She is in here, speaking with officers. She's kind of given me a little bit of a background of your life, your history. I understand that you go to Lakefield College School.
However, the detective shuts this tactic down by immediately revealing that she has interviewed people around Thomas and already has a detailed background on him. This makes Thomas feel hiding information is pointless, and this will later contribute to the breakdown of Thomas's strategy completely.
So you have a pretty good education, right? You're an athlete. Do you still play rugby at all, or did you have to stop playing rugby?
I don't wish to answer right now.
Okay. The buddies that you're with last night, they've all been interviewed. Do you play sports with them?
I don't wish to answer right now.
Okay. Your sister Christina, she's in here as well. She's been in here for several hours, speaking with officers. My understanding is she's here for Christmas. Does she? I could be wrong on that. And you guys all live on Denier with Jeff. Does Jeff actually live in the house?
No.
Jeff doesn't live in the house? Where does he live then? Like, I know he was staying there last night. Does he normally stay there?
On occasion.
On occasion. How long has he and your mom been together for?
A while. A year.
A year. How old are you when your parents split up?
The detective here aims to establish a rapport with Thomas, ensuring he feels this is a safe space. If the detective can successfully build a connection with Thomas, Thomas will open up and start to reveal details of the crime.
I understand it was like 13 years ago. Does that sound about right?
I don't wish to answer right now.
Okay. They do live fairly close to each other, so you're able to kind of go back and forth between the two houses, which is good.
I don't wish to answer.
Okay. Thomas, have you ever dealt with the police before at all?
No.
No. Okay. What about your family? Like, have you ever been into the police station before? Into this police station?
No.
No. Okay. What I'm trying to do, I'm just trying to get a background on you. I mean, I've gotten a lot of information from all the people who are in this building who love you and who say that this horrible incident that happened last night is not you at all. Everything that I've been told up until now is that you're a great person. You've led a pretty good life. you've had some hard times because of your sports. And, I mean, last night, unfortunately, you maybe took something that you shouldn't have, and it led to a pretty horrible incident.
I don't wish to answer right now.
The detective now employs a long silence which can typically cause the suspect to become uncomfortable and fill the space with noise such as ramble or small talk, which could also inadvertently reveal details of a crime. However, in Thomas's case, the detective orchestrates this silence in order for Thomas to process the crime he has committed. The silence allows him to contemplate his actions and will eventually lead to Thomas's mental fortitude being broken down.
How long have you been going to Lakeville College School, Thomas?
I graduated.
Graduated? Are you going to college yet, or are you considering going to college?
I'm currently in college.
Where?
St. Louis College.
St.
Lawrence.
St. Lawrence.
Kingsley.
What are you going through to be?
Police Foundations.
So is it safe for me to say that what happened last night is not you? Okay, take your time.
Thomas's composure has been broken, and it's up to the detective now to capitalize on this as soon as possible before Thomas can recuperate.
Are you just home for Christmas? Yeah. When did you get home? The 19th. And when are you supposed to go back?
I'm not sure. Right now. I'm not sure right now.
That's fine. That's fair. Going through a lot right now. The whole time you've been home since the 19th, have you been hanging out with your friends? Family? It's Christmas. I'm assuming you're in your first year. Is that right? Yeah, so you've just... Like, is your first semester done?
I don't wish to answer right now.
Who did you spend Christmas with?
I don't wish to answer right now.
Thomas, are you close to your dad?
I don't wish to answer right now.
An expertly calculated move. The detective, after some rapport building, utilizes their minor connection with a personal question, using Thomas's name and exploiting his love for his father. This question, combined with the long silence that follows, ultimately causes Thomas to have an emotional breakdown.
I love him.
What do you think your dad would want you to do right now? to make any decision you want, Thomas, at all. But I want you to seriously think about what happened last night, what you think should be done for your dad, for Lynn. And I think it's time you be honest. Your dad deserves that. Your mom deserves that. And Christina, and Lynn and her kids, they all deserve for you to be honest. I'd like for you to tell me what you were doing yesterday. What were you doing with your friends? And start from there and just tell me how this happened.
Executed perfectly, tying in all of Thomas's family to cause the final breakthrough in Thomas. While Thomas held his ground for a very long time, considering the situation he is in, the experienced detective was able to balance maintaining a nurturing and empathetic tone while also conveying a serious manner. The detective also used a secondary strategy where they make the suspect feel as if he is writing his own story, and it is up to him to set things right. This would make Thomas almost feel as if it was his duty to describe the crime, which is what you will see unfold.
Okay. I was just having a regular night with my friends, and then we made a stupid decision to do something very foolish.
Sorry, you said you did something very foolish?
Yeah, I just
What was that?
take a hallucinogenic drug,
Okay.
and everything was fine. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I got a God complex.
Okay.
And I've never felt like that before, and it's so stupid. So stupid. And then I thought that everyone was just turning on me. And I got scared. And then I ran to my dad's for help, in honesty.
Okay.
And then I just, no one answered the door. I just felt like I started hallucinating.
You started hallucinating? Okay.
Seeing close friends and family who've tried to help, their faces start to be aggressive and sinister and devilish, and I felt like I felt like I was, I don't know how to explain it. I just felt like everyone was turning on me and everything like that. And I went to my dad's for help. I wanted to get in. So I got in by any means. And then when he came out, I just hallucinated even more, and his face just... And I thought he was coming after me. But he wasn't. But I thought he was at the time. Because of the stupid drug. I love him. My dad. Same with Lynn. It's... the hallucinations were just so strong. So stupid. Oh, I can't take it back. I would do anything to. I just thought people were turning on me, and they would never. And I know that now, and I should always know that, but the drug.
Yeah. When you got to the house and you couldn't get in, how did you get in?
Through a window.
What window? How did that happen?
Side of the window went in through.
Sorry.
Where I broke in.
You broke in. Okay. So when you went into the house, when did you first see your dad?
I don't know. It was... I came in, lights were on, and then I just remember his face just turned and devilish. Same with all my closest friends, and my mom even. All their faces just turned devilish. Their hair started growing and turning black, and I was just so scared. It wouldn't do anything to hurt me ever. Oh
Do you remember what happened next? You thought he was turning on you. Do you remember what you did?
Up until now, Thomas has given a vague account of the events that occurred that night, and the detective has now established a solid rapport with Thomas. The detective now will push Thomas for more information to wrap Thomas up in a storyline and possibly establish a motive and guilt. You can see here the detective is trying to make Thomas implicitly confess to remembering and acting out the murder of his father. Thomas's best line of action is to try and establish an abnormality of the mind, under the influence which, if the court deems acceptable, can lower charges to manslaughter, which has a far lower sentence of life in prison with the possibility of parole.
no. Not really.
What parts do you remember?
I know I had a knife, and from then on, it's kind of just a quick blur. It was me just acting as though I was fighting for my life. That's what it felt like.
So you thought throughout this that you were fighting for your life? Do you remember where you were in the house?
Kitchen.
Kitchen. Where'd you get the knife?
I don't know.
Have you ever seen the knife before? Do you remember anything about that knife?
Well, I just know I grabbed the closest sharp object.
To protect yourself. Because you were hallucinating. Do you remember if your dad was saying anything?
Everything was just mumbles and murmurs. And it sound like different languages, everything.
Do you remember hitting your dad with a knife?
No, like I remember like coming at him, but as soon as I came at him, everything just kind of blanks out, and I don't know where or how I hit him. I just remember seeing his face, and it just wasn't his face. His eyes looked like they were all black. His hair was all black and growing on end, and everything. It was I would never do that. In my right mind, I would never do that.
And that's the key there, right? In your right mind. Because you did do it. But you were on drugs. Right?
I can't believe I did that.
I believe that.
A master class on the infamous good cop and bad cop technique, executed flawlessly by only one detective. If you listen carefully, the detective constantly uses a calm and subtle undertone that is extremely soothing towards an emotionally distressed Thomas Chan. This will make him more calm, and thus more likely to reveal more details of the crime. However, the cop's cold words immerse Thomas in the reality of his situation, making him accept responsibility for what he's done. Immersing a criminal in their crime can normally be a risky tactic that could cause the criminal to shut out completely if they feel threatened. However, the detective balances this in a way Thomas is able to come to terms with his actions and discuss them more openly.
Where was Lynn when this was all going on?
I don't remember exactly. She ran into the...
Take your time. What do you remember?
Remember, it's very similar to what happened with my father. The hair was black, very black, and the more scared I got, the longer the hair looked, and the darker it got. And like I said, all words sounded like not English. It sounded like chants or something. I just thought I was being chased. Everyone was being taken over by the devil. Something. I don't know how to describe it. It was...
It's a pretty good way to describe it.
Everyone was coming after me.
So when you went into the house, you said you broke in? Where did you first see your dad? Was he right there? Was he sleeping? What do you remember?
I don't really remember. honestly, I just remember getting in, and then all of a sudden, he was there, which scared me, because I didn't see where he came from. And then all of a sudden he was in front of me, saying something. I have no idea what he was saying. And it sounded like I said, Jansen devilish, and the hair.
So you grabbed a knife or a sharp object. Where were you at that point when you grabbed a sharp object?
Must have been in the kitchen then.
Do you remember being in the kitchen?
No, all I see is his face.
Okay. Do you remember where you stabbed him?
No. It's so hard to explain. It's bits and fragments. And my brain's trying to shut it out. But it makes me sick.
Yeah.
It's nothing like me. It's nothing like me.
I know. There's a lot of people that love you. A lot of people that love you.
I've ruined my life.
I do think your dad's story needs to be told, though. I think that we should know what happened. I know that it's kind of coming in fragments, and I understand that because you were on drugs. Do you know what it was that you took?
Mushrooms.
Mushrooms. Okay. When did you take them?
Hours before. But they only started peaking around then. Yes.
So hours before, do you remember like a time?
No.
Where were you when you took them?
At my mother's house.
Okay. So how were you feeling after you took them for the few hours after that?
I was good. I felt good. And then this is how this whole God complex started. I was up in my room, alone at this point, meditating. And then I read about this thing called the familial gland.
Familial gland?
Yeah, something like that on my phone. And then I started seeing like bright lights and everything like that. And I've read about the familial gland before. And then I just started getting this God complex. And then everything started peaking after that. And then I remember going down into the basement. I don't know what happened in the basement of my mom's. But then all of a sudden I thought my friends were being taken over and I wanted the lights on.
Okay.
Because I felt like it was like protecting me. And then when the lights were off, I felt like people would come after me.
Right.
Oh,
What are you thinking about right now?
I think I was trying to protect the light switch.
When?
My father's.
Okay, can you tell me more about that?
I was afraid that he was gonna get the lights, I think. I don't know, I just felt this. I felt like I was acting like God, and I'm by no means religious at all.
Right.
But I felt like I was doing God's will or a spiritual thing, and he was the devil. So stupid. And I just couldn't understand it. His hair was scared. His face was scary, and everybody's face was scary. And I don't know. Everyone was just turning on me in my head. Now I know that I'm sober. They weren't.
Who do you think was turning on you?
Everybody.
Who's everybody?
Literally everyone. I thought everybody was turning on me. It was just... The drug made me feel like I was... like... almost like... the second coming of Jesus or something like that. And they were the devil coming after me. That's what I felt like. That's the best way I could describe it. Which is stupid. I'm not religious.
But you were on drugs, right? And you were hallucinating. Have you ever hallucinated like that before? No.
No.
So you're in the kitchen with your dad,
Yeah.
and his hair's growing black, and his eyes are black. You can't understand what he's saying. And you're scared. Do you remember grabbing an object?
The detective here goes for a new approach to Thomas with a three-step plan to gain more vivid details of the crime. Firstly, the detective reaffirms Thomas's hallucinations. Then, the detective starts a role play using Thomas's details he mentioned before about the crime. Finally, the detective then asks Thomas a loaded question with the assumption he grabbed something to begin with to make him trip up and lose his automaton defense. This role play is also helpful as Thomas could be suffering from dissociative amnesia, in which the brain suppresses traumatic memories. The role play could lower his guard and help the detective gain more important details for the eventual trial.
No.
You don't?
I just grabbed, I guess, the closest, nearest thing or anything. I don't know. I didn't know. I don't remember grabbing it. It's such a dark time. It's hard to piece it all together.
Do you remember when you first started attacking your dad? Was he attacking you? Was he trying to stop you?
I thought he was going for the light switch. And I was afraid that he was going to turn it off. And then come after me, I think. Because I remember being afraid of the dark and being around people in the dark. Because in the dark, they would grab. And the devil was just so real to me.
How did you stop him?
I guess I stabbed him. I don't remember stabbing him. I just remember going towards him, and then from then on, it's just kind of like...
So you remember going towards him. Where was he when you were going towards him?
He
Where was he standing? Or was he sitting? Was he lying down?
I don't know. He I remember when it all happened. It was first. It was. I don't wish to answer. I don't know. I don't wish to answer. I just don't know.
You know what? I don't want you to tell me anything that you don't know. I just want you to be honest for your dad. Honest. I don't want you to make anything up.
I don't know what really happened. I just remember being afraid of the dark, feeling that the devil was very real, and I was like, this whole God, and like I was trying to do something, and just, I don't know, and I don't want to say anything because I'm not in the right state of mind right now. It's just, I don't know.
Do you know where Lynn was when you got there? If she was sleeping? I don't know if Lynn lives there, does she?
She's there most nights, yes. I love Lynn too. She's been there my whole life.
I was going to say, I understand that you have known her forever. She's always worked with your dad, is that right?
Yeah.
How long ago did they actually get together, though?
I don't know. But it's just kind of...
Did you mean to hurt Lynn?
No. I don't know. I don't know if I meant to hurt any of them. I don't know. I don't wish to answer because I don't know.
Thomas has slipped up here as he should have said a complete no with conviction, but because he is not in the right frame of mind, he has possibly given away an argument in court to prove this murder was premeditative. Thomas realizes this and starts to revert back to his former defense of staying silent and unanswerable, so the detective has to now wade carefully to prevent Thomas shutting out. After this, you will observe how the detective lays back and starts to calm down their line of questioning, while also trying to minimize what Thomas has done.
I was just scared. I was hallucinating. I don't know.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. Like, in your mind, do you want to hurt Lynn?
No.
Are you remorseful that you hurt Lynn?
Yes. Yes,
you love her. So if you hadn't done drugs last night,
would this have happened?
yes.
No. I'm a good person.
I know you are.
Not anymore.
But you are. Last night, yes, it has changed things.
Everything.
Yeah. But you still are who you are. You got a family who loves you so much. You've got a bunch of buddies that you've obviously known for a long time, been through a lot with, that have been here talking to officers. They've been very honest about what they did last night. The fact that you guys did drugs and it was a terrible decision, and that you just weren't acting like yourself. They've talked about the fact that you came down and you were talking about God, and that's not you.
No.
And then you went to your dad's house and stabbed your dad. And you love your dad, and that's normally where you go to get help, or if you're upset, he's the one you turn to. Is that right?
When I'm upset at my mom or anything, I turn to him.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you always been close to your dad?
He was always busy with work when I was younger.
Right.
He's a doctor, right? And it only starts slowing down when you start becoming a senior doctor.
Right.
So I would like to say he's always been there for me.
Yeah.
But he's only really had the time now.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah. Do you remember Lynn coming out to the kitchen?
I don't know.
I don't know. I
I
know where she was when she was injured, when police got there, and when the ambulance got there. I just don't know if it happened where she was or if it happened in another part of the house. And I was hoping that you'd be able to tell me where that happened.
I don't know, because my mind's blocked out. Like, I've blocked out after, I guess, I came with my dad.
You sorry?
I blocked it out after, my dad was approaching me, and I was by the light, and I felt threatened. And then I acted how I at the time felt was what I needed to do for my own safety, which doesn't make sense. And
It doesn't make sense sober, but when you're hallucinating, I'm sure it made total sense. Like right now, we can sit here and say, yeah, that makes no sense. But what you went through last night, you were hallucinating. You legitimately felt like he was threatening you. What did you, or do you even know what you thought he was going to do to you?
I thought that he was the devil, and like everybody was being taken over by the devil. 'Cause everybody I saw would fluctuate between like black hair and sinister, and then I just wanted to feel safe.
While we have given a lot of praise to the detective, Thomas himself deserves equal recognition for mostly maintaining his two key defenses, self-defense and the automaton defense despite his mental state. The key defense to focus on is his feeling of fear of those around him and a genuine fear for his life and requirement to defend himself. This is implied through his constant repetition of needing to feel safe. As long as Thomas maintains this defense, this could lead to a manslaughter charge at the worst, or an acquittal of the crime in the best-case scenario. Moreover, prison time could be avoided with an insanity plea, instead going to an asylum and being released after some time, once they've assessed you as mentally stable.
And I didn't feel safe anywhere, and I don't know, I was hallucinating, and I blocked out the points that I don't want to visit.
Did you block out the points you want to visit, or do you not want to talk about them because they're horrible things that you don't want to think about?
I can't distinguish between the two right now.
You said that you saw Lynn's face as well. You saw her face, her hair went black too.
That's all I know. That's all I see was Lynn's face, and black eyes, black hair, same thing, and just not English, mumbling. Like, I acted for my own safety the way I felt. That's what I don't know. I'm not a violent person.
I know.
I've never even been in a fight.
In your dad's house, you've obviously been there before, many times, I'm sure. When you walk in the front door,
Can you tell me, like, where things happened?
I was hoping you could tell me where things happened.
I just know that things were in the kitchen, and then from being in the kitchen, all I see is faces. That's it. Burned.
Whose face is in the kitchen?
My dad. And then after I see my dad's face, I see Lynn's face, but I don't know. I want to say it was in the kitchen, but I don't know. All I see is her face.
Okay.
And it was black eyes, black hair, devilish. Saying, I don't know what she was saying or what she was doing. I just see her face and muttering non-English. I felt devilish, and I acted. I don't know. I don't know where it happened.
You don't know where it happened with Lynn or your dad?
Last I remember was being in the kitchen with my dad. And then all I see is scary faces. That's what I last remember. And then after that, I remember being by the front door praying in the light, which I never do. I'm not religious. Why did I think it? I don't know. I'm almost as curious as you.
Can you describe to me, like, kind of the layout of your dad's house? Okay. So is his bedroom at the back of the house?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was Lynn in the bedroom?
What do you remember about that?
I don't. I don't. I don't. I just remember faces. And I'm being serious. I never would have gone after her for no reason.
Do you think she hurt you?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I just remember faces and acting on instinct. At least what I thought was instinct.
At the time it was. Right?
It was just a fight or flight type thing.
And you know that Lynn is alive, right?
Yeah. I assumed I'm being charged with murder and attempted.
Right. Right. You saw her face. Is there anything that you remember about her face that would remind you of where she was? Anything around her head? Anything? If you saw her face, was the light on? I know you were worried about the light.
I don't know. I just saw her face and black eyes and dark hair. And that's all I could focus on.
Did you know it was her right away?
I knew who people were. I just thought they were being taken over by the devil. I thought they were coming after me, and it's just so stupid because they wouldn't.
You know that now that you're sober.
Yeah.
Was there anybody else in the house?
I don't know.
Have you ever seen anybody else in there?
No. Was there someone else in there?
To my knowledge, no. I'm being honest with you. To my knowledge, there wasn't anybody in the house. But if there was, I was just hoping that you would tell me.
I don't know what happened. I've given you all the information that I can remember. I don't know how reliable it is. I've given you what I've tried to put together.
If there's anything I can tell you, it's that I appreciate you telling me the truth. I do. I really do. It says a lot about you. Not about the you last night that was on drugs, who you actually are.
I've done what I've done, and even though I wasn't in my right mind, I'm ready to take what's gonna happen. I just want people to know that that's not me. That's not me at all. And I'm so sorry. And I don't know how it really went down. And it could have been anyone. It could have been anyone, I'm sure.
What do you mean by that?
I was threatened by everyone. Everyone who I was around. I just felt threatened by them. And they were just coming after me.
Right.
Though I'm sure they were just trying to help me. But at the time, it just felt like they were coming after me because they were working with the devil, and I don't know what I was thinking. It was stupid. I just felt like I was like the second coming of God or Jesus, and it was, I'm not religious, I'm not religious, I'm not religious, I'm not religious, I'm not religious. I can't take it back. I wish I could. I wish my dad was still alive. Lynn's okay. I don't wish for my family to ever forget me. I don't deserve it.
You don't deserve for them to forgive you?
Bro, I killed Dad. Who does that?
So I'm just gonna go back maybe like 24 hours before this happened. Can you just kind of tell me what you did? You know, like, where did you sleep 2 nights ago? What did you get up and do? At what point did you get together with your friends?
I was normal. I was doing everything normal. And then all of a sudden I had a bad trip and it just went worse, worse, and worse, and worse, and worse, and worse, worse, and the worst thing possible happened.
So where did you sleep over 2 nights ago? So last night was when this happened. The night before that, where did you sleep? Did you sleep at your mom's or your dad's or somewhere else?
My mom's.
At your mom's.
I slept at my mom's, yeah.
Do you remember who slept there that night?
My friends, I think. I think so, yeah.
Who out of your friends stayed there?
So the night before this happened?
Mm-hmm.
We stayed over there. I think I know Nick was there
Nick was there?
and Dylan was there.
What's Nick's last name?
Like Nevichek.
Nemenchek?
Nevichek.
Okay.
And Dylan was there.
What's Dylan's last name?
Purvis.
Okay. And who else?
I don't know if Dan was there. I don't think Dan was there at all. He wasn't. He left earlier in the night.
What's Dan's last name?
Saratnik.
Saradnik? Okay. Anybody else there 2 nights ago?
No.
So some of your friends stayed overnight? Like actually slept there? Okay, when did you guys wake up?
I woke up at 10 o'clock and started reading my book.
What book are you reading?
While it might seem pedantic and not pertinent to the case, asking questions about minuscule details of the crime, such as the book Thomas was reading, serves 2 important purposes. At this point in time, the detective is starting to struggle with getting details out of Thomas, so getting him to explain stories around and related to the crime may cause him to divulge important information. Moreover, asking simple questions like, "These show Thomas." The detective is clearly engaged and listening, making him feel more comfortable.
I've heard of books called Freakonomics. Super.
Freakonomics? I have heard, yeah.
Good books. I'm reading the 3rd one. It's called Think Like a Freak.
Okay.
Yeah, really good book. If you want to read it.
Yeah, right.
Anyways, so yeah, I just read the book and I woke them up at 11 after I read a couple chapters.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a normal day. It was just so normal. Everything was so normal, and I never would have seen this coming. I don't think anyone would have.
So when your buddies got up at 11, what did you guys do?
What did we do?
Mm-hmm.
They went off, did their thing, met up with another friend. I didn't go with them. I stayed, waited for Soren to get to my house.
Soren?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know Soren? Is he another buddy that you went to
He's
school
a
with?
really good buddy. He lived with me in grade 11. Yeah, we're like brothers.
Mm-hmm.
We're all like brothers.
Right. What time did Soren get there?
I don't exactly remember the exact time, but it was later in the afternoon.
Right. And what did you and Soren do?
We hung out and then we went shopping with my sister.
Christina? So where did you and Soren...
And Nick came back, yeah.
Nick came back. Did Nick go shopping with you guys too?
Nick came over with us, yeah.
Okay. Are you close with Christina?
Very close. I love my sister.
Yeah. Where'd you guys go shopping?
Plush, Flavor, and went to the mall, saw my mom, all that stuff, yeah.
Right, your mom works in the mall.
Yeah.
Right. So did you go see her at work?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I always do.
Yeah. What time did you guys go to the mall at?
Close to close.
I know. So yesterday was Sunday.
Yeah, it was probably about close to 5-ish.
Okay. And then where'd you guys go from there?
Went back to mine. We went back to my place. We had beer. We went to St. Louis and watched the end of the Leafs game.
Right.
And then we got back, we took shrooms, and I remember bits and pieces of the shroom trip.
Right.
But I've never hallucinated like that ever. It's never been that strong. And it's bits and like earlier in that night, I remember having like a huge growing up moment and just an epiphany. And then when I got upstairs, I started meditating, and then I really started to hallucinate. That's when I don't really start to. That's when I start to lose like the solid stream of things.
Right.
When I really hit the peak and started really hallucinating.
Right. What time did you go to St. Louis Wing? I'm sorry. Was it St. Louis Wing? I know you said St. Louis.
Yeah, St. Louis, just up on what is it, Lansdowne?
Lansdowne Street, right? Okay.
Yeah, we just went there. And,
I'm not sure what time the Leafs played out last night. What time were you there until?
We probably just right up until the end of the game.
Do you know what time?
No, not really.
What time did they start? Like, did they play at 7 last night? Or?
I don't know. We could look that up. So
Yeah.
it's like that's okay.
I'm sure someone around here would know when the
Yeah.
Leafs played.
Yeah, so yeah, and then after that we got back, and then we decided to or we'd take some shrooms.
Whose idea was that?
I don't remember. I think it was like a combined idea, really.
How much did you drink at St. Louis Wing? I know that you said that you had a drink before you went there. Did you drink much there?
I had one beer at home, or one or two beers when I was at home.
What kind?
What kind? It was either Bud or Coors.
Okay.
So those were the 2 beers we had there.
Right.
And then we got to St. Louis, and then I got a pint of Stella.
Okay.
And then came back, and then got the shrooms.
Where'd you get them from?
I'm not really sure. I didn't go with them. I stayed.
Oh, you didn't go to get them?
I stayed at home while they went and got them.
Who all went to get them?
Sworn and Dylan.
Okay. So you don't know where they went? Okay. How long were they gone?
15, 20 minutes maybe.
And did they drive or walk?
I don't know. I was in the house.
Okay. Who did you stay at the house with?
Nemi and Dan. Nick Nemchek and Dan Stradnick.
Okay. Was there anybody else that was at the house with you?
My mother, Jeff, and my sister were upstairs watching a movie or something, yeah.
Whose, and I believe the name's Laura or Lori. Do you know somebody by that name?
Yeah, Laura. I do remember in the police car and all that. Right. I was just saying anything to get out of the police car because I thought that this is where it starts to get crazy, because like this is where I started like coming down a little bit off the shrooms. So this is where like I'm still tripping,
Right.
like, pretty heavily, but I can remember things. I don't remember how I got in the police car.
Okay.
I remember that I was in the police car, and then I closed my eyes,
Okay.
and I felt jostling and all this, and I was meditating again, which I think that's like where I went wrong, when I really started to
Right.
get into my head and like really let things run. And I felt like I was in the dark, and I would just sit there and feel some jostling. And then when I got here, I thought that everything was white, and I thought I was in heaven. I literally, was music playing when I was here? Is there music in?
There could have been music playing in the vehicles. I mean, they have radios.
Oh, I heard like gospel choir music, so I really emphasized like
Right.
the feeling of being in heaven.
Right.
And then the officers were saying you'll know when you're able to get out. So I was like, oh, I'll know. So I'll know. And then their faces were also changing
Okay.
between normal and friendly, and like dark, and I remember their faces would get veiny, and I would depending on like what I said to them, their faces would become more normal, and that's why I started saying all the random stuff, because I just wanted their faces to become normal again.
What kind of random stuff were you saying?
I was like saying names of people who, and like what I thought they wanted to hear.
What you thought who wanted to hear?
The officers
What did
to
you?
let me out of the
Okay.
car.
What did you think they wanted to hear?
Like what they wanted to hear was anything. I don't know what they wanted to hear, so I was really testing out anything.
Right. Do you remember what kind of things you're saying?
Yeah, I remember what I said.
What'd you say?
I remember Laura, who is she, my love? I said that. And I was just testing out things to say, because I wanted to get out of the car and be in heaven, because I thought that I had escaped from the devil, and I was in a bright white place, hearing like this like, oh, gospel-y music like that.
Right.
And I thought I was just, and they were saying, you'll know when you're ready to come out. And I was like, oh, so I'll know. So I just would sit in there, eyes closed every now and then, saying whatever they want me to say. And I was just...
Did you feel better when you got here? Because
Yes.
you thought you were in heaven?
Yes, I felt safe when I got here.
Yeah. Do you remember leaving your mom's house to go to your dad's house?
I remember they're all, my mom and my sister, I remember seeing their faces, and they changed too. All I remember when my serious trip, what really I really see is just faces. Everything else is kind of just, yeah, but I just see scary faces of my friends and family, and that's what sticks in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And when they would get, they would become more sinister, their faces would be, as I said, like veiny, and they would get fat.
Does that happen with your mom as well?
Yes, and her hair was very, very, very black, and it started getting long and long, and then she just kept coming towards me and towards me.
Your mom did?
Yeah, trying to help me, and I know that now.
Right.
But it just made me scared, and I just remember their faces, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know for sure obviously, but I'm pretty sure I called somebody the devil,
Okay.
and then I got scared and ran to my dad's, because I thought that he would have helped me. And then I got there, and then his face was changing too, and everyone's face was changing.
Do you remember being on the driveway of your mom's house and
No,
arguing with anybody?
I remember, because I thought my mom was the devil at first,
Right.
and my sister was the devil, like my family was the devil. And then I remember seeing Soren's face,
Right.
but I don't know what happened. I think did we get an altercation?
It's my understanding, yes. Yeah. He's okay. He's okay. All right. Yeah.
It could have been anyone. It could have hurt anyone. It's not. It was just so dangerous.
Could it have been your mom?
It could have been anyone. It wasn't by preference. It was just me trying to get away from this devil that I thought. And I thought that it was taking over people.
Do you remember Jeff's car?
Jeff is Thomas's stepdad, and the detective here is switching track to him, most likely to look for a motive, as Thomas may harbor some anger towards Jeff as a stepdad, due to him being a divorced child. If the detective can successfully find a motive toward any one person, it can significantly improve the prosecutor's claim in court.
Do you remember Jeff in his car and everybody else in Jeff's car?
I think that's how they got there.
Jeff's car has 2 broken windows.
2 broken windows?
Mm-hmm. Do you remember doing anything to Jeff's car?
No.
Okay.
I must have thought like they were working with the devil, or I don't know. I don't want you to guess. I don't want to say. Yeah. I don't want to guess.
No.
And I don't want you to.
I was wondering if you remembered.
No,
that.
I don't. I don't.
So you don't remember Jeff's vehicle at all?
No.
Okay. Do you remember Jeff at all?
Like, kind of. Is he okay?
He's okay. Everybody else is okay. All right? Everybody else is okay.
I don't remember. I just remember faces and stuff like that, and bits and pieces. And I just remember being so scared. And then realizing that I couldn't do anything but fight. And I went to my dad's for help, and he started changing too. And I just remember faces where it's so scary, and hair and eyes black and everything. I can't take back what I did. Like, I don't know. I'm in such deep shit, but
You should have been man enough to own up to it, though.
Yeah.
Thank your dad and then deserve that. And your mom.
Yeah.
And your sister. And all your buddies. And Jeff.
I hate myself for what I did, even though I wasn't in my right mind. But that's gotta come from somewhere, right? I can't be right. That can't be right. That shouldn't be right.
A poor mistake from Thomas, as he has again suggested that this was not primarily due to the drugs, and due to another source of vitriol or grievance with his father. This essentially destroys his automaton defense, thus removing a key leg of Thomas's legal plan to fight the case in court.
Like the drugs and everything were just...
Have you ever thought about killing your dad?
Never, no. I've never thought about killing anyone.
So you're saying that you did not set out to go to your dad's house to kill him?
No, I would never do that. I set out to my dad's house to be safe, because I thought my mom and sister and everyone was turning against me. I went there to be safe, and then I felt like he was turning on me too, and his face, and then I don't know. It could have been anyone. I wasn't setting out to do anything. I just wanted to be safe, and I did what I thought I needed to do to be safe. And I blame it solely on hallucinations and this firm belief in religion, where I got that out of nowhere, really, and this thing, meditation, and meditation let me explore my head, and my head just ran off in ridiculous ways, and I felt like, I don't know how to describe it. And then as when the trips are getting really bad, it just faces and flashes and glimpses and things, and I don't.
Do you have any glimpse of what you did to Lynn? Anything at all that would help us?
No, not really. I just remember her face and it being very, 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 very sinister to me. And
When you
guess
say
I-
sinister, what do you mean? Like, what's your description of a sinister face?
like what I was like, how I was saying, like with the police officers, how their faces would get all like veiny and their hair would start turning dark, even though like even if they have blonde hair, their hair would start turning dark.
Right.
And like I said, their faces would get fat too. Kind of, it would be like fat face and then veiny and eyes black and hair would. It would look like it was growing in black. So stupid. I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't feel any of this.
What are your injuries? You've got your
Big
hands there.
laceration right there.
Yeah.
I'm missing a lot of skin right here.
That's your
Pinky.
right pinky. Are you right-handed?
Left pinky, sorry.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm right-handed.
You're right-handed.
And I haven't seen this one actually.
Wow, okay. Good.
That hurts.
Wow, yeah.
I haven't even seen the one on my back.
Do you remember how you got any of those?
I didn't feel any of it. I don't know. I do not know.
But you're saying you went through a window as well. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm assuming it's from the window.
Okay. So you said you went through the window. Does the window open or did you break it?
I definitely broke it because it doesn't open.
Right. Okay, it's one of those sealed ones?
Yes. I was just so scared and I wanted to get into the house and I thought that I was gonna be safe in there.
Mhm.
And I guess what parent's not gonna be pissed off with a kid coming through a window, right? Their kid coming through
Yeah.
a window.
Yeah.
So that negative aura, I guess, him coming at me, being like,
Right.
whatever, kicked off the unsafe feeling in me, and all from then on, all I see is faces.
I can understand why. I mean, he probably got woken up out of his sleep, right?
Probably looked pretty
Somebody's
scary
smashed
too.
him. You what?
Probably looked pretty scary if I was sober too, just waking up like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he knew you very, very well. So he would know that wasn't you.
He must have known something was not okay.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Of course he would, right? Yeah. At least the rest of your family can take some solace in the fact that you didn't plan on doing it.
No, never. I would never. I literally went there for comfort reasons. And I killed him. And I probably seriously hurt Lynn.
Yeah, she is seriously hurt.
That's not me.
Is there anything else you can remember?
I've told you I remember. If I told you anymore, I'd be making stuff up from fragments.
Right. You said something earlier about hallucinating, and this isn't like it's ever been. if I'm remembering what you said
Yeah.
correctly.
I've taken shrooms before,
You have.
and it has never been like this.
How many times have you taken them?
Like once or twice, yeah. And every other time it's been like a life-changing thing for me. Like before that I was smoking weed like every single day.
When was that?
Like all last year, I probably smoked weed every single day for like a year and a half, and it was seriously debilitating me.
Right.
And then I took shrooms, and after that I totally saw that like I don't need to do this, and I saw it as like a life-changing finding myself thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just turned on me this time.
Right. When was the last time before this time you took them?
I don't know. I don't remember the exact day. It was at school.
In college?
Yeah.
Okay. So in the last 4 months anyway, since September.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now, I know I mentioned this early on, but you have been athletic by the sound of things your whole life. Is that right? You played rugby.
Lots of concussions.
Lots of concussions.
Lots of concussions. Mental illnesses.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
This is the final key defense Thomas has up his sleeve. The fact his athletic history lead to many head concussions is a very valid reason to explain the extreme symptoms of weed-induced psychosis for Thomas. However, Thomas really should remain silent here, as anything he says here about these concussions can be detrimental later on, as he has not built the correct storyline with them. And further in the video, you will see how these concussions will form a key part of Thomas's defense. Thus, silence is paramount, but unfortunately Thomas does not follow this.
It's just chemical imbalance in my brain, causing depression.
When did that all start?
Probably grade 11. Grade 11 was when I had my last concussion that sent me over the edge, and I had a chemical imbalance, and I went through some serious depression, had suicidal thoughts and all that. Saw a counselor for a while. The counselor helped, but it didn't at the same time. Because counselors, if you're a smart enough person, you start saying stuff that you know they want you to hear. They want to hear. And you don't really know if you're okay after that,
Right.
or if you're just putting on a face. So I don't really know if I was okay after that. But then this year I started feeling anxiety and depression at school. But the weeks leading up to coming home, I started feeling a lot better, and I stopped smoking weed, and I did all this stuff, great things, and had a whole new drive, and then this happened. The worst possible thing happened.
So you were feeling better in the last few weeks, in the weeks
Yeah.
leading up to the
And
19th when you came home.
Yeah, and anyone can tell you that, and anyone could have seen it.
Would your mom and sister be able to say that? Yeah. Were you excited to come home for Christmas?
Yeah, I love my family. I love seeing them.
I'm just going to leave the room for a minute, okay? And I'll be back. I'll be back in a minute. I may have some more questions, okay? All right.
Since the detective is running out of questions, they leave the room to consult their seniors on what else to ask, while Thomas sits mostly silently muttering to himself.
Sorry about that. Is your finger bleeding a little bit? Yeah. Under the Band-Aid? Did you get any stitches or anything in your finger too?
Couldn't. I couldn't. It's just skin.
Oh, skin cut off, yeah. Okay, so I just have a few more questions for you, okay? The first one, Lynn, do you remember, I know that your memory is a little distorted, well, a lot distorted, but do you remember her talking to anybody or maybe being on the phone. Do you remember anything like that? You said that you remember her mumbling.
No, all I heard was gibberish, like what I thought was like satanic mumbling or whatever. I thought what everybody was saying pretty much was just satanic mumbling.
Right.
And no, like I said, faces. That's all I really see, and like flashes of things. But like, I guess I don't remember anything between the attacks. I remember kitchen, faces, and then being out at the front praying.
In your dad's hallway? Do you remember anybody coming to the door?
No,
Okay.
I don't remember how I got in the police car, that's why.
Right. You don't remember anything about that? About going in the police car?
No,
Okay.
no.
Do you remember where you left the knife? Or if there was more than one knife?
I don't know.
Do you remember what the knife looked like?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No.
Do you remember if you took the knife with you?
No.
Or if it
I
was
just remember praying at the front, and like I actually remember at one point being so scared and it wanting to end, and I contemplated killing myself. But I didn't, obviously. And I don't know if I had a knife on me. I just remember praying and like talking to God and just thinking that I was doing what He wanted. I don't know. And then I in the police car. Next thing I know, being jostled around, seeing like flashes of lights, which I'm guessing are the police lights probably or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then next time I really open my eyes, I'm here in a bright white area with that, and I start coming down a little bit from the trip.
At what point did you realize that you'd killed your dad?
I don't know. Like, it's really just starting to sink in now.
Right. In your dad's living room, I understand that there's video cameras of some sort. Does your dad have video surveillance at his house?
Yeah, he does.
Where does that record, or does it record?
I don't know if it records. It might just be a live feed.
Why does he have it?
Why does he have it?
Yeah.
He's a techie.
Is he?
Very big techie, yeah.
Oh, okay. So he just liked it.
He's one of them that he would like to talk to his cat.
Right.
Yeah. I should remember being scared of the cat. Oh, I was scared by cats and comforted by dogs.
Last night, you were scared by cats and comforted by dogs.
I just remember that feeling. I don't know exactly like what that means or anything. I just remember that feeling of being comforted by dogs and scared by cats.
Does your dad have a cat or a dog?
Yeah, he's a cat.
Do you remember if you saw the cat? No.
I don't know. I just remember being scared by cats, so I'm assuming I saw her at some point.
Right. And you remember nothing else?
I told you what I remember.
Okay. Thank you for being honest with me. I mean, for what it's worth. I'm sure your dad would be happy that you told the truth.
I don't care if it's me more trouble or not. I did what I did, and I can't do anything about it. and whether I just don't want that. That's never should happen. That should never happen.
Yeah, I agree. It shouldn't. It did.
It shouldn't happen. And I don't know why I all of a sudden started believing in God and being all spiritual and shit. I don't know.
If your dad could be here right now, what would you say?
I love you. I love I would never do anything to her. All I did was want to make him proud. Because I knew my mom was always there for me. And I knew he was always there for me. But I always just wanted to make him proud. Because he was never there when I was young. And I never really had that father figure growing up. And he always just started being there when he was a senior doctor. And I just wanted to make him proud. I love him. My dad is my only dad. I'll only ever have one. And I don't have one anymore. I don't have a dad anymore. It's because of me too. That's so hard. That's so hard. My sister doesn't have a dad because of me. I don't.
What about Land? What would you say to Land?
Oh, I am so sorry. I would never do anything to her, ever. Oh, I hope she's okay.
I hope so too. I hope you had the chance to say that to her.
She's gonna be okay.
I hope so. She's in the hospital, so she's where she needs to be, right? I don't have any more questions. Okay. So it's 13:29, so 1:29, and we'll go back to the cell, okay? Right?
Go ahead. Do you think I could have a blanket for there?
I'll ask. Yeah, as soon as we go out there, I'll ask, okay? All right, come on with me.
In the end, Thomas served 4 months in prison before being released with strict conditions and an ankle bracelet at all times. Thomas was awarded a retrial in 2022 due to the extreme intoxication and concussion factors present in the case, and the trial is still going on to this day.